The Chiefs fall in Super Bowl 59 to the Eagles by the final score of 40-22, a game in which most Chiefs fans turned off at the end of the third quarter, a game where so many things went wrong from the very beginning. And the one positive, I guess, of this loss, it's kind of hard to talk about positives right now, but the fact that you got blown out and embarrassed on the national stage, I think that's going to help this Chiefs team rebound quicker because if they would have lost this game by, let's say, a touchdown or a last second field goal, it would be easier to go into 2025 with a lot of the same roster. Unfortunately, while the entire goal of this season was to three-peat, I think a lot of the guys got a little bit complacent. And I know that sounds crazy, but it is so hard to mentally get yourself back up and go to try to do something when you haven't experienced failure. I mean, a lot of the guys from, the 2022 draft class, that was their first playoff loss. Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, Isaiah Pacheco, Leo Chenal, they had never lost a playoff game. And so now Brett Veach is going to have the opportunity to rebuild this team, rebuild the offensive line, finally go get Mahomes a left tackle, and they can rebuild this offense and defense to a point where they could be back in this game next year. And I think that this game, for so much of us, felt like, it's either now or never. Like the Chiefs are either going to win this game or they're going to kind of go back into what we saw in 2018 and what we saw in those years when the Chiefs didn't end up going to the Super Bowl. But I'll say this. With Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, you're always going to have a shot. The Chiefs went 11-6 last year and rattled off enough wins to go win a Super Bowl. So, the Chiefs are never out of it. I don't care what their record says. They're always going to have a chance when they have Patrick Mahomes. Unfortunately, a lot of the issues that we talked about this season with the left tackle situation and the offensive line, it reared its ugly head in this game. Joe Thuney is not a left tackle. He's a left guard. And they really stretched him, and he played a lot of really good snaps in the playoffs for this team. Unfortunately, when you were going up against a great defensive line in Philly, they didn't have to blitz. They won with their front four, and that's why the Chiefs primarily lost this game. Patrick Mahomes, I think, was pressured on 50% of his dropbacks, like 52% in the first half. That's not a recipe for success. And while he did not play a good game, that's kind of why a couple of those interceptions happened. I know the one that he threw to Zach Bond, he got bumped by, I believe, Joe Thuney, who just got pushed back by the pressure coming from the outside. So it's just like with a different offensive line, I think we see a different result, but props to the Eagles. They were able to get revenge. They won this game, and I think that they were the better team. It hurts me to say, but the Eagles were the better team in this game. But going forward, we need to talk about how this Chiefs team rebounds. How are they going to figure out a way to make the necessary moves this offseason to get back to this point? Because I think that a lot of people on this team are going to come back with a new fire. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, if he decides to come back, I really do think that they're going to have a different mindset going into 2025. And I also think that Brett Veach is going to be more aggressive and actually go out and add talent to this offensive line and to this offense. Because one thing that I saw on Twitter, and I kind of agree, the Chiefs have gotten away with a unexplosive offense for the past two seasons. They've won back-to-back championships, and everything's fine and dandy, but they did that without a true explosive offense. And it's kind of a miracle that they were even able to do that. And so I do think that you need to go out and get more pieces on this offense, draft a running back, go sign another wide receiver. Definitely the top priority has got to be offensive line. You've got to shore up the side of the line that protects Patrick Mahomes' blind side. But offensively, they just weren't good enough. And I think that going forward, Brett Veach is going to have to make some moves. And defensively, he's also going to have to make some moves because there's a couple guys on this defense and offense as well that are going to be very tough decisions. Trey Smith, Nick Bolton, these guys are free agents. That's a really interesting and tough choice if you're Brett Veach. Personally, I think that we probably saw Trey Smith's final game in a Chiefs uniform, but they're going to have to make other tough decisions. That's just kind of the nature of the beast when you're so good and you don't have all the cap space in the world. So we're going to talk about that more as the offseason goes on. This is more of a Super Bowl aftermath show, kind of just giving my thoughts and reactions to watching that game. I'm going to be honest, guys. I turned it off after the third quarter. I was like, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need to sit here and watch us get embarrassed. I know they scored a couple times in garbage time. Congrats. I mean, it didn't end up meaning anything. And I think that this game was really over at halftime. And I gave myself hope, like maybe they could come back. But with the way the Chiefs offense was moving the ball in the first half, the game was pretty much over at half. There was a couple opportunities that, DeAndre Hopkins could have caught that ball. Travis Kelce should have caught a ball. Hollywood Brown as well. Is what it is. The guys just did not show up to play, and it's why they lost this game. So, guys, I think that this offseason is going to be very telling. We're going to find out a lot about what this team is made of. But before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to the sponsors of this video. But stay tuned, because on the other side, we are going to talk about what this team needs to do to get back to this point. This video is sponsored by my friends over at Mozy. Mozy is a wearable and weatherproof thermal wrap, which is guaranteed to keep you warmer than a normal stadium blanket. If you're going to any outside tailgates or parties or any event, you gotta stay warm. And the best way to do that is by getting yourself a Mozy. And right now, if you click the link in my description, you will get 30% off your entire order by using code KCSR at checkout. And fellas, if you want to get your girlfriend or wife the best present ever, go get her a Mozy. It keeps her warm. You'll be able to do more activities outside. And I cannot tell you how many times that Mozy has come in the clutch by keeping the girlfriend warm. So definitely go check out the link in my description. Get 30% off your order by using code KCSR. And once again, thank you to Mozy for sponsoring this video. The Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway is the place to be. With over 1,500 slot machines, 35 table games, 4 restaurants, and a new ESPN Bet sportsbook, there are plenty of ways to find your fun. For more chances to win, follow them on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the Rice Real Estate Group, Kansas City's premier partner in real estate. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, you'll receive a tailored experience designed just for you. Specializing in residential, commercial, and investment properties, the dedicated team over at the Rice Real Estate Group helps guide you through every transaction, including navigating those short, complex sales. With a commitment to personal one-on-one service, they will ensure that you are supported every step of the way. You can achieve your goals with expertise, care, and a customized approach that truly makes a difference. Ready to make your next move? The Rice Real Estate Group is here to make it happen. For more information, call 816-819-9333. Huge shout out to all the sponsors that support this channel all football season long and into the off season. And shout out to you guys for sticking along all season and supporting my content. I really do appreciate that. But let's talk about what the Chiefs need to do to get back to the Super Bowl. Goodness gracious. To get back to the Super Bowl, because that's really all I can think about right now. I understand that the Chiefs just suffered arguably their worst loss in their franchise's history, maybe one of the worst losses in NFL history, but it's all about how you respond. It's all about how you pick up the pieces of this shattered puzzle and put it back together. And I think that while it sucks to get blown out in a Super Bowl, the answer's clear. You have no question about what you need to do this offseason to get back to this point. You need offensive line. You need to get probably a couple guards, definitely a new left tackle. You needed offensive pieces like a running back. You need a wide receiver. And I think defensively, you probably need to go out and get a safety. It's either Justin Reed or somebody else. You might need to bring back another defensive line piece like an edge rusher. They need somebody that can get after the quarterback because it just wasn't good enough most of this season. So I think that the pieces are in front of the Chiefs. Brett Veach just has to put it all together. And this 2025 draft is arguably going to be the biggest draft of Mahomes' career. Like, this is going to be such a pivotal moment in the franchise's history. If Brett Veach can go out and have a 2022 draft again, the Chiefs Super Bowl window just gets extended by 5 years. Like that's how big and important this draft is. And you got to put faith in Brett Veach. He's got us here before. And I do think that he's going to go out with a new fire and try to do everything in his power to get us back to this point. But I'll also say this because I've heard so many people talk about it. If you see a lot of Eagles fans that are giving you crap about this loss, that's one thing. The Eagles can say whatever they want because they beat us. We did beat them 2 years ago, but, whatever. There's going to be a lot of people like Raiders fans, Broncos fans, Chargers fans, Bills fans. Bengals fans that are going to try to rub salt in this wound. The Chiefs have been the most successful football team in the last decade. They have gone to 5 Super Bowls in the last 6 seasons, and they've won 3 of them. Patrick Mahomes has already given us so much in just a short amount of time that even if he doesn't win another one for the rest of his career, we have seen a dynasty. We have seen one of the best teams in NFL history play football, and that's a gift. But I'll also say, to kind of finish this video off, the Chiefs are going to be back. It might not be next year. It might not even be the year after that. Patrick Mahomes is too good. Andy Reid is too good of a head coach, even though he didn't look like it yesterday. The Chiefs are too good to not go back. I'm just going to say that. And so whether it is 3 years from now or next year, the Chiefs will be back, and I don't expect the same result to take place. So Chiefs Kingdom, leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. What do the Chiefs need to get back to this point next year? It's going to be difficult. It's going to be an uphill battle, but I trust Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Brett Veach to figure it out. Thank you guys for watching this video. As always, hit that like button and subscribe for more daily Chiefs coverage. We are going to continue talking about the Kansas City Chiefs into the offseason because they are one of the best football teams in NFL history, and we're still going to talk about that. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching, and as always, go Chiefs.